Hi, welcome to Ray at the Movies, and today we are doing the Blu-ray release review of My Best Friend is a Vampire. I wish they used the original poster. This is a cool poster, and I wish they gave you an alternative for the poster, for the Blu-ray. But that's okay. Minor grief. I actually like it. It's a fun movie. I'm going to read the back of it. Forgive me for butchering names, but let's go into it. Return to Milton High School in this beloved 80s teen comedy, now available on Blu-ray for the first time. Shortly after high school student Jeremy Capello, Robert Sheen Leonard, goes on a hot date. He finds he can't stand garlic and can't see his reflection in mirrors, but he can make a delicious raw steak shake. As maniac vampire hunter Professor McCarthy, David Warner, stakes him out. Jeremy just wants to pursue his high school crush. Also starring Renee Auberjonois, with an appearance by Oscar winner Kathy Bates. Now, note the writer in an interview stated that the original title for the movie was I Was a Teenage Vampire, which is to coincide with movies that he saw from the 50s. I Was a Teenage Werewolf and I Was a Teenage Frankenstein. He noticed they never bothered to try to do a movie about a teenager being a vampire. So he came up with a script, and it was originally, like I said, titled I Was a Teenage Vampire, which in Australia was the title. They would, the company that produced it talked him into a title called Bad Blood for a while. That was the title. Then they eventually titled the movie My Best Friend is a Vampire. It's a fun comedy about, like I said, a kid who's just trying to have a normal life on a date with his crush. And it's just a funny movie. Has a lot of cool things. Has the auto commentary with the director. Has interviews with the writer. And interviews with one of the actors who was Paul Wilson, who played David Warner's sidekick, who was trying to help him go after the actor, Capello. Also his friend. It's a funny movie. It's a fun watch, and I really liked it. I first saw it by a friend of mine who rented it on VHS, and watched it again and again. And like I said, it's a fun movie. I give it 3 out of 5. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a fun movie. The writer also stated that it originally did have blood in the movie. There's no violence in this movie, really. They took it out, so it makes me wonder, was this... He never really said and went into detail in the interview whether it was originally going to be a horror movie and no comedy, or what. But they, of course, took all that stuff out of the script, and it became the movie it is today. This movie is a movie I've been trying to get and wait patiently. I had it on digital from Amazon, but just never got around to watching it. And it was released in 2009 on DVD, but only full screen with no bonus features. This is the first time this movie has any bonus features. And of course, like the Vestron back of the cover says, first time on Blu-ray. Now, there's some stuff to go into this movie, or talk about with this movie. So let me go into that. My son is here. He wanted to be in the video, but I'm like, you can make an appearance. Just come in real quick and say hi. It's just because of the movie that I don't want him in the video. Come on. Say hi. You said you wanted to be in the video, so we're going to do a review on Monsters, Inc. That was a quick one. Okay, so let's go with, I already went over the title. Oh, by the way, Robert Sheen Leonard had mono during this movie, so they had to have a stand-in for the movie, that's why in some scenes you only see the back of his head. He would later refilm the scenes. Now, the movie is directed by Jimmy Hudson, who did Run and Scared, which had Billy Crystal in it. Fatal Exam, written by Tab Murphy, who did Gorillas in the Mist, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Tarzan. He did a lot of Disney cartoon movies, by the way. Music by Steve Dwarf, The Bodyguard, Back to the Beach, Alien Nation TV series. The movie was released on Blu-ray, by the way, in 2023. The cast is Robert Sheen Leonard, who did House from 2004 to 2012. Great show, check it out. The Manhattan Project, which was what helped land him the role in this movie. They saw his performance and they were impressed. He would later, after this movie, go do an even better movie. I'm not saying this movie wasn't good, it's a fun movie. Dead Poet Society, and then he did Swing Kids. Evan Mernid did, who plays his friend, best friend did Seven, Fight Club, and Megalodon. Leanne Loughlin did Miss Congeniality. Charlotte Pollock did Date with an Angel, Nightlife, Pump Up the Volume. Cecilia Peck did Wall Street, Killin' Zoe. Diane Flagg did Stay Hungry, Grease. Kenneth Kimmins did Invaders from Mars, Police Academy 6. David Warner, Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, and he was in 2 episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. He also did Waxwork, Cast a Deadly Spell, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze, The Unnamable 2. Paul Wilson did The Sting 2, Devonsville Terror, 976 Evil, and Circuitry Man. I hope Vestron releases Circuitry Man 1 and 2. That was a fun, cheesy movie. Renee Auberjonois did Star Trek Deep Space Nine, The Last Unicorn, and the remake to King Kong. Here's one of the story beats that it says. Young student finds himself being transformed to a vampire after a night with a quite attractive female vampire. First, he does not quite believe it himself, but with the help of a 300-year-old teacher and the handbook Vampirism, a guide to an alternative lifestyle, he finds out that blood does not taste as bad as he expected. Of course, he does not bite women as a good guy. He sticks to pig's blood, which is offered by the local butcher as a special offer for vampires. Trouble rises when the vampire hunters tries to track him down with a wooden stake and silver bullets. Now here's the trivia. Diane Flagg, who plays Jeremy's mother, is also the author of the novel Fried Green Tomatoes at Whistle Shop Cafe. Kathy Bates, who plays Darla's mother, starred as one of the main characters in the Fried Green Tomatoes movie adaptation. The license plate on Ralph's car reads BVR Hunt. 2 of the actors went to act in various Star Trek franchises. Renee Auberjonois as Aldo in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and David Warner in various roles such as Gil Mandrad in Star Trek The Next Generation. A brief scene where Jeremy and Darla are on their first date was filmed in the parking lot just to Elevator Tennessee Park. The poster seen in Jeremy's bedroom is the downtown Hudson skyline with fireworks in the background. These posters were promotions for the Ravenous Hudson event held in 1986. Despite being a vampire, Nora is never seen sleeping in her coffin. Kathy Bates and David Warner both appeared together in Titanic. The movie wasn't released on DVD until 2009, then with a proper release from Vestron. The movie was released in Germany on October 1st, 1987, and then in the States on May 6, 1988. In a 1987 American comedy film directed by Jimmy Hudson, the story revolves around a newly made vampire who is trying to live as good vampire and not feed on humans. Meanwhile, his parents have noticed changes in their son's lifestyles, but are under the mistaken impression that he is a closeted homosexual. Jeremy is played by Robert Sheen Leonard, with Renee Auberjonois as Jeremy's vampire guide counselor, and David Warner as a vampire hunter. The film's themes include prejudice, identity, gender roles, and adolescence. This is, like I said, a fun movie that's a comedy about a man who's just trying to go on his date, but he's a vampire. And it's a fun movie. And you have, of course, David Warner's character and Paul Wilson's character coming after him. So the whole movie. And they also mistaken his best friend as a vampire. So it's a fun movie. I recommend it. And I recommend you pick up this release by Vestron that they released. They do a good job on their releases. They've released Waxwork 1 and 2. They've released the Warlock movies, the Wishmaster movies, They released Class of 1999 and so forth, The Gate, and so forth. So I recommend they do a great job with the restoration. This film looks great. And with that, I am out of here. You have a good one, and have a great rest of your day.